You are watching Forbidden Files. Every week we open one more secret that history forgot to explain. Today's file comes from deep inside a cave. It is 40,000 years old and it is one of the most stunning mysteries of all of human history. Picture this, 40,000 years ago humans are living in caves across Europe, Africa, Australia and Asia. They have no phones, no writing, no roads, no boats big enough to cross oceans. They have absolutely no way of talking to each other across different continents. And yet inside caves on every single continent, scientists have found the exact same drawings. The same dots, the same zigzags, the same spirals. The same hand shapes, the same lines, not similar, not kind of the same. Exactly the same. And a scientist spent over a decade studying this, and what she found stopped her in her tracks. Her name is Dr. Genevieve von Petzinger. She is a Canadian scientist, a paleoanthropologist, which means she studies the very first humans, and she becomes obsessed with one specific question. Why do the geometric shapes inside ancient caves keep repeating across thousands of years and thousands of kilometers? So she did something extraordinary. She spent over 10 years visiting ancient cave sites. She crawled through 52 caves across France, Spain, Portugal and Italy. She photographed and catalogued every single symbol she found. Then she built a database and looked for patterns. What she found made the hair on the back of her neck stand up. Across 30,000 years of human history, across the entire continent of Europe, ancient humans used only 32 specific symbols. Just 32 out of all the possible shapes a person could draw. The same 32 over and over for 30,000 years. She said, and I'm quoting directly, "That is a very small number. If these were just random doodles, we would expect to see a lot more variation." So what are these 32 symbols? They are beautifully simple dots, lines, triangles, circles, spirals. A shape that looks like a hand, a shape like a feather, a shape like a ladder, a simple zigzag, nothing complicated, nothing that required great artistic skill. But here is the thing that is so extraordinary. These are not cave paintings of animals. These are not pictures of people or battles or hunting. These are abstract shapes, shapes that clearly meant something specific. Because according to Dr. von Petzinger, many of these symbols were used together in sequences like words in a sequence. Only cave in Spain called La Pasiga has a sequence of symbols arranged in 3 groups, separated by space exactly the way we write sentences today. Written by a human being 16,000 years ago in a language we cannot. But here is where the story becomes truly mind-blowing. When Dr. von Petzinger searched through research papers from caves outside Europe, she found something she was not prepared for. Many of her 32 symbols were appearing on other continents too. In South Africa, in a cave called Blombos, in 70,000 years old piece of rock was found with a cross-hatch pattern etched into it. The same cross-hatch that appears in European caves tens of thousands of years later. In Australia, in Indonesia. Think about what this means. People living in Spain, in South Africa, in Australia and Indonesia 40,000 years ago with zero ability to travel across oceans or communicates with each other all independently drew the same symbols. How is that possible? Scientists have 3 main ideas about this. All 3 are fascinating. Some scientists believe these shapes are not cultural at all, they are neurological. When humans experience certain states, intense focus, deep motion, or altered states, the brain naturally produces these patterns as visual impressions. It is like a built-in visual language that every human brain shares. Dr. von Petzinger's own theory is simpler and more powerful. All models humans originally came out of Africa around 70,000 years ago. When they left, they may have already had these symbols as part of their shared cultural knowledge. They carried the symbols with them as they spread across the entire planet. This would explain why the same shapes appear everywhere modern humans went. A small number of researchers believe the consistency of these symbols across continents point to a connection between ancient peoples that we have not yet discovered, a connection that mainstream archaeology has not yet explained. Right now, on your phone, you use emojis to communicate. You use dots, lines, circles, spirals, and hand symbols. You use abstract visual shapes to send messages to other people. And 40,000 years ago, a human being in a dark cave was doing exactly the same thing, drawing the same shape, sending a message. Dr. von Petzinger said it herself in her famous TED talk. We have been building on the mental achievements of those who came before us for so long that it's easy to forget that certain abilities haven't always existed. The hashtag symbols appears in caves in Europe, Africa, Australia, and America 40,000 years before Twitter existed. We did not invent the hashtags, we just found it again. So here is what we know right now across every continent where modern humans settled 40,000 years ago. The same 32 symbols appear on cave walls. They were used consistently for 30,000 years. They were arranged in sequences like sentences. And some of those exact same symbols are still appearing in our phones and keyboards today. We do not know exactly what they meant. We do not know if they were a language, a religious code, or something else entirely. But we know one thing for certain. 40,000 years ago, a human hand pressed against a rock wall and drew a mark. That mark was meant for someone to find. Before you go, I have one question for you. Do you think these 32 symbols were a language or something else? Write your answer in comments right now. I read every single one. If this gave you chills, hit the like button right now. It only takes 1 second and it helps more people find this channel or page. Subscribe and follow to Forbidden Files, because every week we open one more file that changes the way you think you see the world. The next file is